It's thoroughly illegal and unconstitutional. Of course, Congress never voted to set up a $1.776 billion political slush fund for the president, and we never would pass such a thing. So it's a complete violation of congressional.
Donald Trump is about to learn the hard way that not every Republican is as spineless as Ted Cruz. Now, let's be real. Republicans are generally a pretty cowardly bunch. Over the last decade, we've seen that time and time again. Perhaps the most pathetic example in history was when Donald Trump insulted Ted Cruz's wife, and then the man turned around and spent the next 10 years bending the knee to him. But Donald Trump tried that exact same tactic again today, and this time it has backfired spectacularly. A Republican is now actively seeking revenge, targeting Donald Trump's vanity ballroom project and his corrupt slush fund. We are going to dive into how Trump's attack on this Republican's wife has blown up in his face and why his latest financial scheme is also imploding. We are going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. And now, just in case you've forgotten, that slush fund is intended for violent insurrectionists. That is exactly where I want to start today, with Jasmine Crockett perfectly exposing the blatant hypocrisy and racism behind Trump's latest power move. We'll get into why this whole thing is about to be shut down by a member of his own party, and we'll have more from Jamie Raskin at the end, so definitely stick around. But it all begins with Jasmine Crockett right here.
Are the Proud Boys a white supremacist organization, yes or no? Starting with Ms. Wiley.
It is my view they are.
It depends on how you define it. I have a book.
Okay, never mind.
It
Next.
depends on how you
it's
define it.
It's a yes or no. Proud Boys, how they define themselves. Are they white supremacists, yes or no?
I have not read a description of how they define themselves.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not on their mailing list. I don't know.
So are you only on the mailing list of...
I'm not like the SPLC. I don't fund organizations that I'm in.
Oh, it just seemed like you were saying because you haven't received their mail, you only received the mail of white supremacists. But go ahead, last witness.
No, they're not white supremacists.
And you know what? I do believe that y'all believe that. Let's try another one. Neo-Nazis, Miss Wiley.
Well, yes.
What?
Nazis is in their name. Neo-Nazis, Dr. Swain.
Is the question still about the Proud Boys, or is it about the...
Neo-Nazis.
Neo-Nazis.
We have moved on. Neo-Nazis.
Neo-Nazis are hate groups, and I have a book, 2002,
okay, thank you so much.
about
so we're
hate
gonna,
groups
so
that I suggest that you all read.
I'm reclaiming my time.
book.
I'm reclaiming my time. Neo-Nazis. Are they white supremacists?
Neo-Nazis, are they white supremacists?
Yes or no?
What's that?
Yes or no?
They're certainly anti-Semitic, which I would join with any member of the Democratic Party. Mr. Nadler earlier was talking about standing up for the Jewish
reclaiming
people.
my time.
I'd be happy
Next.
to do that.
Yes, they're white supremacists.
Woo, thank God. Jesus Christ, I didn't think we were going to get there. Oh my gosh, let me be clear. Proud Boys are freaking white supremacists. Neo-Nazis are too. And this president, who loves to coddle white supremacists, has decided that they should be given checks. The reasons that I pointed to those particular organizations is because you can go and read, I don't know how many articles, as Dr. Swain wants people to read up. I'm going to be clear. I've read my fair share of books. I do have my fair share of degrees. It is clear that neo-Nazis as well as Proud Boys joined in on January 6th. Yet this slush fund that they keep talking about is specifically to give them money. So how dare this majority sit here and try to lecture this organization about money? Now, we're not talking about tax-paying dollars as we are in that slush fund. But you're telling me that $2 billion in the same country that I'm sure some of y'all would struggle with whether or not the enslavement of black people was good or bad. I'm not even gonna go there and ask y'all the question because y'all struggle with defining that these people were white supremacists. But this country still hasn't thought that reparations made sense for black folk in this country. But at the same time, they've decided that people that are in organizations that are absolutely white supremacy organizations should get our tax dollars because they decided to tear apart or attempt to tear apart our democracy.
I honestly couldn't cut that clip because it so perfectly encapsulates exactly how we should all feel about the hypocrisy of this administration. The blatant racism, the way they just laugh at the American people while they release violent criminals, including 5 predators by the way, from the January 6th mob. Trump is handing them pardons and writing them checks to commit even more crimes, emboldening them to carry out whatever political violence he wants on his behalf. All of this is happening while they have the nerve to whine, oh, political violence is caused by the left. It is that absolute garbage that infuriates me, and I know it infuriates you too. But here's the twist. It's also infuriating a Republican right now. Not because Donald Trump staged a violent insurrection, most of them are perfectly fine with that, but because Trump decided to get nasty and attack his wife. That was the line, and now it's all blowing up in Trump's face. Republican congressman engaged to Fox News star vows to kill weaponization fund hours after Trump attacked him. Rep. Brian Fitzpatrick, a moderate engaged to Fox News anchor and senior White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich, vowed to do what he had to do to kill the newly established anti-weaponization fund being operated by Donald Trump's Justice Department on Wednesday. The $1.776 billion fund was established via a settlement Trump reached, even though you can't even call it a settlement because there's no legal standing for it with the IRS to end the $10 billion lawsuit against the agency, and is designed to provide a systematic process to hear and redress claims of others who suffered weaponization and lawfare. According to a DOJ press release asserting that the fund will have the power to issue formal apologies and monetary relief owed to claimants. Asked about the news on Wednesday, Fitzpatrick called it bad news and said, "We're going to try to kill it." Asked how he might do that, Fitzpatrick, again a Republican, replied, "Well, we're considering legislative options. We're going to write a letter to the EG to start, but we're considering a legislative option. We're trying to unpack exactly, what the legal machinations are, but we can't do that." He also said that a legislative remedy would also address the settlement provisions shielding Trump, his family members, and his companies from further action by the IRS. Fitzpatrick's comments came after Trump upbraided Heinrich, his fiancée soon-to-be wife, over Fitzpatrick's voting record earlier that day. "Her husband votes against me all the time. Can you imagine?" amused Trump while taking questions Wednesday morning. "I don't know what's with him. You better ask him what's with him. Her husband, she's married to a certain congressman and he votes against me. He likes voting against Trump. You know what happens with that? It doesn't work out well. I don't know why he does, but..." And then Trump continued with his rambling. So Donald Trump didn't just target a Republican congressman who refuses to bow down to him. He went after his fiancée, a Fox News reporter. Now she's a Fox host, so we already know there's a ceiling on the kind of journalism that happens at that failed institution. But let's be honest, she's actually a bit more combative than the usual suspects like Kellyanne Conway or Jesse Waters or any of those other hacks over at Fox who have no clue what they're talking about. And look, I've got a little bit of sun in my own hair right now, so I think I know a thing or two. But we all know the stereotype at the old Fox propaganda outlet. They have a look they want, and they usually want people who will just read the script and not ask questions. Well, Donald Trump decided to take on 2 new enemies today, and it looks like it is backfiring spectacularly. What is Mike Johnson going to do about it? Nothing. The man has zero power. And what about Thomas Massie? Donald Trump, alongside Netanyahu and Miriam Adelson, who Trump himself said loves Israel more than the United States, quite the admission there, just unseated Massie. At this point, why would Thomas Massie do anything other than join the Democrats and caucus with them? I know he probably won't because he has his own presidential ambitions, but he's going to keep being a thorn in Trump's side. This entire slush fund scheme isn't even popular within MAGA. It's a massive waste of money. And it's not just about the insurrection, though it's insane that we're just skating past a violent attack on our capital that almost killed members of Congress. Honestly, my message for the day is, forget Merrick Garland. How is Trump even allowed to run after all of this? I catch myself getting numb to it sometimes, and I know you do too. We're sitting here talking about billions of dollars set aside for insurrectionists by a predator president just so he and his company can avoid prosecution for tax crimes. It's mind-boggling. Sometimes words are just hard to come by when the corruption is this blatant. This wasn't some art of the deal genius move. It was stupid, especially because Democrats are going to rip this apart. This is a total layup. Trump is out here saying we can't afford healthcare because of an illegal war for Israel and the Epstein class, while simultaneously handing billions to violent criminals and predators. He says you can't have childcare while the cost of living explodes. This is a gift for Democrats, especially for those who know how to dismantle Trump legally, like Jamie Raskin. He broke down exactly how he's going to fight this even further in this clip right here.
It's thoroughly illegal and unconstitutional. Of course, Congress never voted to set up a $1.776 billion political slush fund for the president, and we never would pass such a thing. So it's a complete violation of congressional appropriations powers. Moreover, even if Congress wanted to do such a thing, which we never would, it would be unconstitutional because the 14th Amendment says that money cannot be spent out of the federal fisc for the purposes of repaying people for insurrection or rebellion against the United States. And look, but this is his MO now with all of these political slush funds. That's what the Board of Peace is. They took $1.5 billion from the State Department. That was money that was supposed to be for disaster relief. Then he sets up this Board of Peace. He gets $1 billion from the Qataris, $1 billion from the Saudis, and so on. We don't know anything about it. Is it public, private, profit, not for profit, registered in America, registered in Qatar? We don't know anything about it other than Donald Trump is chairman for life. He controls all that money. So that in itself is a violation of the Foreign Government Emoluments Clause, because all those foreign states and kings and princes are giving money, and the Domestic Emoluments Clause, which says the president is limited to his salary in office and cannot derive any other money from the U.S. Treasury. But the whole administration now is just corruption, highway robbery every day.
The way that you were describing it, including your reference to the Emoluments Clause and other means by which this seems pretty illegal, even to somebody who's not a lawyer, makes me think that these things ought to be stoppable in court. I mean, who has standing to challenge the Board of Peace slush fund that you were just describing, or indeed this new one that they're trying to set up at DOJ?
Well, it won't surprise you to learn that the Roberts Court has made it extremely difficult by erecting the standing doctrine, political question doctrine, sovereign immunity, you name it, making it extremely difficult. And in addition to the fact, of course, that they've said that the president is not subject to criminal prosecution for actual crimes he commits under the auspices of his office.
Jamie Raskin is going to tear Donald Trump apart. And honestly, I am looking forward to every single second of it. If you're with me on that, we're going to be covering it all right here. I'm actually planning to have Jamie back on the show soon. My good friend Congressman Raskin. I call him Jamie. He's my buddy. It's not disrespectful. He's just the greatest. The man once even came on this show with a black eye because he is that committed to the fight. So Jamie, if you're watching, I love you, man. Thank you for everything. We'll have him on again very soon. If you want to stay in the loop for that interview and everything else we do, as always, hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. If you've stuck around until the very end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you want to do me a massive favor, because it's been a long day and I'm already on my second cup of coffee, please head over to Spotify and find the Liam Prescott Show. I need your help to boost our ratings. The MAGA crowd absolutely hates me, shocker. I know. So they keep spamming the show with low ratings to try and bury us. If you could go over there, subscribe and leave a 5-star review, it would go a long way in helping us fight back. I'd really appreciate the love. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'm Liam Prescott, and I'll see you in the next one.